Just the Tips.
All right, everybody, it's Adam and Mike with Just the Tips, episode 82 of Just the Tips podcast. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, man? How you doing today?
It's Wednesday afternoon. It's 100 degrees, and I haven't picked up my clubs in 3 days.
Dude. Well, I think we're going to dive into that. It's episode 82, and we're going to dive into why you haven't picked up your clubs, why I haven't picked up my clubs, besides
4 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
episode 82. Last week we talked about the 10 commandments of golf etiquette. And I'll be honest, man, today's Wednesday, so we put that video out a few days ago, and it's doing great. I really hope people start sharing that around because it definitely needs to be done. We already got a ton of comments on there talking about, dude, this happened to me last week. This happens to me all the time, blah, blah, blah. I said, share that video around and spread the word. I really think that we need to start doing that and building this community of golf etiquette. But at the end of the video, we said that we were going to be filming Sunday afternoon.
yeah.
And it's Wednesday.
So here it is Wednesday, and neither of us have picked up a club. This weekend was the Ulster County's Men's Championship, also known as the Herdegen Tournament. Named after Father Herdegen, by the way, who was a Catholic priest by the looks of things. I don't know if you noticed that. But
did not know the facts behind everything.
Yeah. But it's a prestigious tournament, or for us as big of a deal as it gets, and I make a big deal out of it. For me, it's my Augusta. It's a tournament I've played in many times as a junior and college golfer, and then in my resurgence in my mid to late 40s, and I've been doing pretty well. And one of the reasons I've been doing well is I had your help and support on the course as a caddy. But you went and in your second attempt, your second year, qualified as the second low amateur in the qualifier, which got you into the tournament again, it's 3-day tournament, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there's a cut after Saturday, right? So real quick, I mean, I was away when you made the cut. Just wanted to touch on that real quick because it was an incredible round. You did an awesome job, dude.
Yeah. So qualifier was 2 weeks before the actual tournament over at Swan Country Club over here in Saugerties. Not my home course, but it is, a course that I've played a fair amount. But I'll be honest, I've never really played great there, but ended up putting a pretty good round together. I was pretty pumped on how I went. Miss Paddock came out and was cheering me on, finishing 18, and she said, "What'd you shoot?" And I walked off the course. She goes, "I saw what you did on the front." So on the front, I shot a 35, and it's a par 34. And then on the back, I shot 40, and it's a par 36. No, is it also 35 on the back, right? So I shot, I think it's par 70, correct?
It is par 70, yep. So it's 34, 36.
34, 36. Wow, my bad. It's terrible. My math is terrible.
It's hot out.
It is hot out. So yeah, shot 75.
Yeah,
so
unbelievable shooting, and not only that, but all but 21 people from the tournament get cut and have to requalify. So if you're in the top 21 the year before, you don't have to qualify. But there was like 60 or 70 guys in the tournament. You came in second out of all of them, So it was the young man who what did he get you by 2 or 3 strokes?
I think he shot a 71. Colton Pickle is his name. 17-year-old kid out of
Colton Pickle.
Ellenville, I believe.
That's it. Yep. Plays out of Lockmore. Is a senior out of Ellenville. So again, there was only 30 years difference between the two of you, but outside of that, everybody else you threw a whooping to. So the great thing about that is you get 2 weeks. You get that tournament's on a Saturday. You get a full week in the following week. and then we play Friday, Saturday, and like everybody says, hopefully Sunday. So you and I took it as serious as a heart attack. We had plenty of good practices. We had some excellent practice rounds. As a matter of fact, what'd you shoot in your practice rounds?
So me and you went over to 12 skill. I shot 36 on the front there. What's
Yeah,
par?
35. 35.
Yeah, and I shot one over on the front. And then on the back, I think I shot a 40, but that was us more like, hey, what if the pin's over here? What if, chipping up to here and, that kind of thing. But, yeah, it was another 75, I believe, 76.
Yep. I had a tough day. Yeah. I'd run out of the car and zipped around the course, but I played it many times, so my 82 didn't bother me in the least. You got a chance to play Apple Greens, the second course. I was away and didn't get a chance to play a practice round. How'd you do in the practice round over there?
Shot 78.
78 on a par 71, right? Then you and I went to the final course, Wiltwick, and played from the blacks on a good solid day. We had a good match against some friends. I shot 77 from the back tips.
So I think I shot like an 83.
So between the two of us, we couldn't be playing better. The day before the Herdegen, the Thursday, we go up to see our buddy Lucas Cohen up at New York Golf Park, which again, if you're in the greater Hudson area, it's 20 minutes from Saugerties, 30 minutes from Kingston, 40 minutes from Albany, is one of the great practice facilities. You and I had a lovely day. We had a relaxing day of simulating the golf course, hitting a few shots, doing a few videos, but largely it was just a nice relaxing day where the ball was flying off the club.
Yeah, it felt good. Hitting off of grass, so we were hitting all of our clubs off of grass. So he's got a great practice facility there. Felt good, man. Felt really, really, just ready to play. Right, like I was like, let's do this. Let's get this over with because the game is feeling good right now.
Yeah. So the great thing was the next day. I don't know how they come up with the tee times for the championship. We go out in threesomes. They seem to be relatively mixed up. Some people that qualified, some people that played in the final round, some juniors, some seniors. They kind of mix everybody together. I don't know if there's a rhyme or a reason to it.
I think those first, there might be some scheduled things where like somebody's like, hey, can I go out in the morning because I got a thing in the afternoon, or or hey, can I be late because I got to work in the morning, whatever that is. But I think like generally speaking, it's pretty mixed batch, which is good.
But the long story short is you had the tee time one in front of me, right? I was playing behind you all day, and the next day when we go to Apple Greens, they flip-flop it. So you were playing behind me. So like I said, we kind of had eyes and ears on each other to some degree for 2 straight days, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, who were your playing partners for the 2 days?
So,
and by the way, on the third day, they reshuffle the deck. They make the cut, and then they put you in playing order based on your performance. So if you make the top 20, I think it's the top 27 make it, and like the 27, 26, and 25 all go out together in the morning, right? Yeah. And then next groups until you get to the best.
Yeah,
teams,
so
right?
like a normal tournament, like professional tournament where like the leaders go out last. Yeah, so wait, what was the question? You asked me something.
Who were your playing partners? Yeah.
So I played with a guy who we see at the club all the time. Great dude. Actually ended up having a beer with him after the qualifying round. Good dude, felt great, like, not uncomfortable with. And then also your wife plays with this woman who what does she play on? I don't know exactly what she plays.
So she's a D1 golfer, recently graduated, could become in the professional ranks. She was the ladies Ulster County champion for 11 years, and that's saying something considering she started when she was 10. New York State champion twice, but you got a chance to play with her dad.
Yeah, her dad was is our third in our group. So, and I was warned in a good way that he knows all the rules, right? Like, you got a question, ask him. You're unsure about something, ask him. Also, be on your best behavior, which you should be anyway at a tournament like this, and all times when you play golf, is like, he'll let you know if you can't do something, or if you're about to do something that you shouldn't do that, or whatever it is. So we had basically a rules official in our group, which was awesome because, sometimes when you're out there and you're just playing golf, you're not really thinking about it all the time, or you might have some random question where, like, so for instance, I had one where I thought my ball was going to be like ripped because I hit a rock. Like, I skipped one off of a rock. I'm like, dude, I bet there's a gouge in that. He was like, you can go lift that up and look. You can mark it. You can lift it up and look at it. If there is like a gouge in it, you can swap it out. If it's a scuff, you can't.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, that's what he said.
Okay.
There was no gouge in it, so I didn't have to worry
thought you had to play with a damaged ball through the hole. That's interesting to know.
So I think it's scuffed. He said you have to if it's like gouged, like where, like there's like
you could see the
like
filling.
see through the outer layer. Then he said you can swap it out. But
is there nougat in there? Is it like the inside of a?
I think it's like a
Three Musketeers.
I think it's a chocolatey caramel filling. No, who'd you play with?
You know what? I had two really good playing partners, both from smaller local courses. One gentleman I played in the final round with the year before. Another gentleman from New Paltz, but both younger guys, big, tall, strapping guys in their 30s, hit the ball a mile. God's sakes! I told the one guy if I could hit the ball as far as him, I'd be on the Corn Ferry Tour. But it was such chill.
You're not allowed to say that, dude.
Why not?
That's what Mike Block said about Rory. He was like, well, if I hit the ball as far as Rory, I would shoot 20 under par every day. And that got him some crap.
Oh, really?
I got him some crap. I mean, I know what you're saying, and I know what Mike Block was saying. He was like, things are a lot easier when you hit the ball 60 yards
80 yard past me.
Yeah.
So
pitching wedges going in par fives, but yeah, go ahead.
But no, but what was interesting, and I even said it. I go, it didn't feel like a Herdegen. First off, you weren't with me on the bag. I didn't have a caddy either day, or all 3 days. And these guys were just super chill, man. I couldn't tell if they were out for a... Huh?
And they didn't have caddies either, right?
They both had people riding with them. I wouldn't call them caddies. I'd call them support staff. Somebody to light the cigar or to,
go run in and grab a few beers at the turn.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They weren't drinking, but, man, they were super chill. And like I said, not that we weren't trying to play serious, but I would say, like, my group felt like a Brabham Saturday morning round, like where we're trying to shoot low net.
Dude, so
rather than the Herdegen. Yeah.
That's what my qualifier was like. The two guys that I played with were super chill. It was 3 dudes playing golf, and that's, honestly, I'm chalking up my 75 to that because the dudes were super cool. They were playing golf. They were hitting balls. They were just like, hey, all right, man. It was so chill. There was a couple times when I wanted to... They like would roll up their putt to like 6 inches, and I like almost like I had that feeling of like tapping it back to them.
Yeah, it was a bunch of times where I'm like, hey, that's good. Oh, I'm like, oh yeah, we're in an amateur tournament. That 2.5 footer, you're gonna have to see the rest of that. So, any highlights from the front nine? I mean, what was the overall vibe for you? Front nine of your first round of our county championship. The major of the year.
I finished with a birdie on number 9, and that was the only highlight.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a grind. It was, I talked to the one guy in my group had a caddy who comes to the gym all the time, and we know him. Whatever, we talk to him all the time about golf, and he said something about the guy he was caddying for in their group that, like, you're always fighting, right? Like, you're always, like, scratching and clawing for that par. You're always fighting for that par. That birdie comes every once in a while. When I was playing well with these mid-70 rounds that I was shooting, I wasn't fighting. I was never fighting, right? Like, maybe once in a while there'd be a bogey in there, but it would be like a a lip out par or like a tap in bogey where I wasn't like
Right.
fighting. I was just like, all right, take your bogey and get out of here. This round at 12 skill was a fight, man. It was a fight, and I ended up shooting an 84 for the round, and it was fighting the whole time, man. It really was.
So same thing for me. I made the turn in 40 with 2 birdies, and I was like, man, I'm in trouble. I have to make 10 footers for par. I had to make a 30 footer for par instead of tap in pars. They were tap in bogeys, and the bogeys just kept coming faster and faster. And I'm like, oh, and it's only a par 35, right? And the 9-hole course, and we played the whites. Most of them are up tees to play the ones on the back. I got a little hot on the backside shooting a 2 over 37 with like 2 really good birdies. Like I said, but I was exhausted afterwards. I think I made a tactical error in walking. I forgot how hard that course is to walk. It's pretty mountainous, and it was warm out. But I didn't do leg day, so I was like, it's a wash. Who cares? Mentally, though, I was wiped out, dude. It was a dog fight all day. I had to hit a left-handed shot. I had to make it a 30-foot par. I had to hit a driver into a par 3
on a short par 5.
Yeah. So it was a dogfight. I was a little worried about you, though, because 84 kind of had you middle of the pack. If there was, 60 guys, give or take? And I think you were, right around 30th. But you were gone before I was done at the scorer's table. I go, uh-oh. I said, but it wasn't, you weren't upset. You had stuff to do.
It was. I definitely had to digest it a little bit, but I had stuff to do. I had lawn. I had softball practice. I had like back to regular life stuff. But I still had to digest it. But honestly, by the time I got home, I was like, all right, listen, man, you got to go shoot one of them mid-70 rounds tomorrow. That's what you got to do. And I just did it 4 or 5 days before that. I'm like. And I will say, historically, I played apple greens in my life. I've probably played apple greens anywhere between 12 to 15 times in my life. I don't play well there. But I just played there like a week before. I think it was like a week before. And I threw up that 78 with a couple like little silly mistakes and a couple like...
Yeah, we should have had that one back.
I just missed. Yeah. And I was like, I can easily shoot 75, 76. Not easily, but if I keep playing that way and make one of those putts falls or whatever it is, I was like, I got to go shoot under 80.
Yep.
My goal, I will say this, my goal was to break 160 before the tournament started. I was like, if I break 160 between the 2 rounds.
Should be
I'll make that cut
for day 3. Yep. So I made a 77, which had me 7 shots off the lead. But to a young player, there was some other good scores in there. But I was in 12th place, 7 shots. But I was only like 2 shots out of 5th place, right? So I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I hadn't been out to Apple Greens to play that year, but I played that course 100 times. And I played it championship times, and I've shot low scores out there from the back tees. And I'm saying the same thing, 74, 75. Maybe you get lucky and you get a low 70s round. But you're going to be right there. You're going to end the day not only top 10, but could it be 4, 5, 6 somewhere in there? And we got out there, and the greens weren't running fast. The pins weren't in crazy locations. I just had one of those rounds where I made more bogeys than pars, and it was just unusual, I made a mistake I've never made before ever in competition golf. I hit a drive to like 120 yards on the first hole, hit a 9-iron, and I didn't quite catch it, and the wind was in my face, and it hit and it spun back to the fringe. I left the first putt too short. I knocked the second one up to 1 inch, and I was pissed off about the 3-putt. And it was 2 inches away, and I went up, and I went to tap it in, and I didn't have my feet under me, and the putter caught the turf and rolled the putt 1 inch of 2 inches, and I took a 6 on the first hole with a 4 putt, and I was like, oh boy, but I said
let me wake up.
mental
Yeah,
attitude.
that's fine. Like, you know what? First hole, let me wake up. I'll, a little
I said,
kick in the butt.
I said Rory won the Masters taking a double on the first hole. This guy, JJ Spawn, he shot 40 on the front and still won the U.S. Open. Who am I to complain about a double bogey? Well, I should have complained about the double bogey because, like I said, from your lips to God's ears. But just went like bogey, 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 3-putt bogey. Then I had a par, then another bogey. I got a birdie and a par and then a bogey. And I was like, ow. I'm like, it's just a lot of bogeys. I start the back, bogey, bogey, par, and I'm like, okay, let's take a nice run of pars. Bogey, ridiculous, have to get up and down par, another bogey, another bogey. Oh no, and then I went par, par, par on the way in to shoot 80 on the number. But I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, it just got away from me, and I was like, man, I'm like, that's unusual. Normally I can stop the bleeding and grind it out, and I just couldn't. But I'm like, okay, Now for yourself, you were behind me at this point, so I caught you on the turn, and you're like, that front 9 wasn't too hot.
Well, I started off fine. I made par on 1. Flew the green on 2, which I didn't expect. Took my bogey there. Then made par. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm like 1 over through 3. I'm like, totally fine. Wasn't totally fine, dude. Number 4 is that par 5 with that crazy green with the, it slopes and everything like that. I got on the wrong side of that pin and 3-putted that, which was not good. I was on in 4, 3-putted that, so that's a double. Hit one in the water on the par 3. Sucked. And it just started just falling apart, dude. Like again, fighting. Like you make a par, but it was a grind. You know what I mean? And then even the bogeys were like, whew, fucking got out of there with a with a bogey. They're the grinds. So shot 45 on the front. What'd you shoot on the front? 41.
41, yeah. And not tough conditions. Wind's not howling. Greens aren't
it was
fast.
nothing. Like, I don't have excuses, right? Like, people are like, oh, were the greens fast? Was it, were they? No. It was I just couldn't put it together. Then, actually, the guy who I rode in a cart with during the qualifier was at the turn. He was sitting there. He ended up he made the cut also, but he ended up tearing his Achilles. So he had to bow out, which ended up getting a bunch of more people in, which was kind of
cool.
There's a bright side of it. But I said what's up to him, hit my drive, hit a great drive, and stuck the next one to like a foot and tapped it in for birdie. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's go. Next one's that par 3.
Yeah.
Tough little par 3.
It's like 205 yards into the wind. Yeah.
Striped a hybrid onto the green, got like a 20-footer, misread, tap in par. Okay, no big deal. Par, I went birdie, par, so 3-3. Pipe a drive on 12. I'm
short par 4 downwind. What do you got left?
Yep, 62 yards.
There you go, a little flip wedge.
Yep. My caddy, good old E Wood, was like, hey man, let's keep this 3 train going. Chunk into the bunker. I'm like, oh man, all right. So then I scull it out of the bunker. Then I took an 8 on that hole, and I was done. I was done. Done. I didn't tell you this though. So the next hole is that you said you hit driver on 13, right?
It's the only club in the bag that was going where it was supposed to. So it's not a driver hole.
Definitely not a driver hole. So I'm furious. I got 3-wood in my hand, and I go back and I get my hybrid, and I just pipe it up the left side. I have 122 to the pin. I have like 109 to the front edge.
Yeah.
I hit a fluffy pitching wedge that I don't know where it lands, but it was definitely short of the front of the green because it was 109. I hit a fluffy pitching wedge out of the rough. I was in the bunker long. I have no idea how I was in that bunker long.
So you know what's interesting about that hole, and I don't know if it's legend or how it could possibly happen, but we've heard this before. So this is a tough par 4 because it's really narrow. It's got water on one side, trees on the other, and then the green, the whole hole's downhill, but the green runs away from you hard and into a bunker. And what I heard was it's not a Redan because it's actually installed backwards. I heard that the architect, who was a local guy who decided to build his own golf cars, designed it, and the map was the backwards, and the guys installed it backwards, and that's the way they left it. So it's hard to get that ball on that green, and there is a bunker behind there. I try and play it short, just like you did.
Dude, I played it short.
Like
I hit an easy pitching wedge. I hit a fluffy out of the rough pitching wedge, no longer than 100 yards. I didn't hit this ball 100. I maybe went 100, and I was in the bunker long.
Yeah. So
and it was all downhill from there. I ended up shooting a 90. What'd you end up shooting?
80 on the number, which got me a 157 for the 2 days, and I was in 22nd position. No, I wasn't. I was in.
You were there. What were you, second group? No, you were like fifth group.
I was third group, and I was first to hit the third group, so I think I was 19th, right? So they take the top 21. So you and I have a discussion in the parking lot.
Oh, they take the top 27.
They took the top 27, and I'm 19, right? So I dropped from 12 to 19. I know I'm out of the tournament. I know I have to go and shoot like a mid to low 80s round at Wiltwick to make the top 21, so I don't have to qualify next year. I can't win the tournament. I'm not old enough to come in low senior. So, like I said, the tournament just didn't feel like the tournament. So you and I got talking, and you're like, do you want me to come caddy for you? And I go, dude, just save it. We got more important things to do. Let me just go out there. I played by myself for 2 days. I'll play by myself the third day, and I'll go out and I'll shoot. You know, I just shot 77, so maybe I shoot 79, and maybe 82, something like that. And we woke up that morning, and it was pouring out. I mean, thunderstorms, and we get an alert. They delayed the start of the tournament by an hour. I'm like, okay, we've been playing in rain the whole time. It's no big deal. What I wasn't expecting was the howling 30-mile-an-hour 2-club wind.
Really?
Normally for us, we get real heavy wind in the springtime, right? And then muddy conditions, howling wind, lots of high scores. But then, once the summer rolls around, the wind dies down, the course firms up. I wouldn't say they tricked out the pins, but there were some good ones. There were some, player pins out there. I hit the ball off the tee as good as I've ever hit it in my life. I hit the fairway on 1 and made a bogey. I hit the fairway on 2 and made a bogey. Now, I'm playing the kid that beat you in the qualifier.
He didn't beat me, okay? Let's not put it that way.
His score was lower than yours. Everybody qualified. I know. We get started at 0. But we were tied, and I go, good. I'm going to enact in revenge for Mike getting beat by this kid, right? He starts off birdie par birdie. I start off bogey, bogey, bogey. And I'm like, okay, I'm already down like 5 strokes to this kid after 3 holes, right? So I go on 4, and again, it's a tough stretch to start, especially from the blacks, the wind's howling, and I'm like, just get on track. I couldn't hit the driver better. I shaped it around the corner on 4. I'm laying on the 150-yard marker, pins back left, I hit it front right, 3-putt across the green. I go, you got to be kidding. I'll tell you how hard the wind was blowing on 5. From the back tees at 210 yards, I hit a hybrid, and I hit it pin high, right? So the wind was... And I finally made a par, right? 5th hole. For number 6, the easiest hole on the side. Pin is front right. I hit it back left, 3-putt. And I'm like, okay, this is annoying. But I've been hitting the driver so good Number 7, the hardest hole on the course is coming up. So I decide to pipe one down the middle and I hook it into the hazard, take a double bogey. Bogey 8, double bogey 9. I make the turn in a 46. Dude, I can't remember the last time I shot 46. I can't remember it. I would have to go back and look at my Gin app. I bet it's been 3 years since I shot 46 on the front of Whitwick. All right?
Wow, dude.
But didn't give up. I go, hey, tail of 2 9s. 46-36 is still, 80, what was that? 82. I go, that's still a good score. I go, 84, 85 will probably still qualify. Plus the conditions are so hard. I saw the governor in the bunker on 5 while he was playing 4. And I go, well, he's not playing very good either. And then, if he's not playing good, I should be perfectly fine. Battle on the back. Go. The pin's on 10 on the back left. I hit it in the bunker short right. Can't get up and down.
Dispersion, brother. Dispersion. We have videos about this. I know guys that have a video on YouTube about this.
Almost 3 putt number. Number 11's playing 170 yards, the longest I've ever seen it. Almost 3 putt that one. Take a penalty on number unplayable on 12 in like a bad break. 13, they played the tees all the way up, which is good because they don't want you to hit. There's a high tension wire. And so they move the tees up so you don't hit that. So it's actually, even though you're playing the championship tees, you're playing the course shorter than you ever had before. I lost the ball left, ended up underneath the tree, ended up with a bogey. And again, 14, striped it down the middle, but it's 2 club wind in the face. I'm taking a hybrid into the green. I lose it a little bit right. I see the markers looking for it out of bounds. I actually find it, thank God, take a bogey. I hit 15, driver to 150 yards. Now the wind's whipping at our back tees. I hit it to, the pin's on the top. I hit it almost to the top, spin it back down 30 feet, 3 putt. And then I parred in to shoot like a smooth 88 and missed and now I have to requalify by 2 strokes. So dude,
the deal is, let's let everyone know, I did not make the 3rd round, so I have to requalify next year. We're both going to wait to the last minute to send our thing in so we can play in the same group.
Why don't we send them in the same envelope?
Yeah, there we go. That's a good idea.
Yeah. All right, that way we can caddy for each other. But long story short, I'm like, let me ask you a question. This is what I do. I do with my guys at the insurance company. We do PDIs, personal development interview, right? And we just ask 2 simple questions, and I'll ask them of you. Ready?
Yeah.
A qualifying round and 2 days of amateur golf. What are 1 or 2 things that went really well for you?
I hit my driver really well. And I got more comfortable putting without taking practice strokes and trusting my read and my feel. Those are the 2 things that I feel during competitive golf that I normally struggle with, especially last year. Now I'm comfortable with them. How about
Anything else that you did well?
Kept my cool. I think I kept my cool, in competitive rounds and struggling, you know what I mean? Like, kept my cool.
Yeah. For myself, I hit the driver like an animal. Again, I guess I just need better irons or something. I don't know.
You need new irons.
I need new irons. But no, I really, really, really drove the ball well. I was very happy about it. And the biggest thing was, if I was to be known for something, this is what I'd want to be known for, is that I never gave up. I never stopped trying. There was never one time where I didn't double read the putt. There was never one time I didn't go through my practice routine. There was never one time where I hit such a bad shot that I slammed the club or I yelled out. There was one time where I screamed out, F you, Adam Paddock, to make sure everybody knew who the jerk was who just hit that shot. But 2 seconds later, I'm back in it. And like I said, I never gave up. last putt of the round, I double checked it. I drained the 10-footer to shoot 88. Like I said, so again, I'd like to think that that's my best score. That was the best I could do, all things considered.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, for me, I also, like, there's nothing that I look back at and go, well, if that didn't happen, it was just, like, I just couldn't put it together. That was all.
So what's one or two things that, in retrospect, you would have done different or you would have done better or the next time? Because, again, we're only 362 days away from round number 1. So what's something that you was maybe within your control that you could have done different to affect?
I need new irons.
Yeah,
No,
I think you do. I mean, personally, you have great irons, but that's it.
what's one thing? That's a good question. Eat better. Eat and drink water. I didn't have any. I think I actually brought snacks and didn't eat them on either round, and I didn't really drink much water.
So I
would
think
say
one of the
that.
things that we find in an amateur round, and Bobby Jones talked about this, because Bobby Jones was like a little guy, and he would say like a 3-day tournament that he would lose like 10 pounds just because of the mental drain of amateur golf, right? So, you're a big, strong guy. You don't get gassed on the golf course. But, long story short is that, you're also not grinding that way mentally when you're, when you're just playing a Saturday round or something like that.
Yeah.
You might need a little different nutrition for something like that.
How about you?
I've been going back and forth on it. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 tactical errors. I think I hate to say it, but if I'm not going to take a caddy, I might have to ride in a golf cart. Might have to ride in a golf cart.
Honestly, that might be one. I mean, I didn't walk, right? My caddy is got some back issues, so we just rode in the cart together. That also might have messed me up a little bit. I don't know. I'm saying maybe I'll do a trial next year of like walking and just staying in the zone might help me a little bit better, instead of in and out of the cart. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Let's see. What'd you do Sunday? Did you walk?
No. So day 1, I walked, and the guys I played with rode, and it was a hilly course. That was one of the problems, was they were always ahead of me because they were longer hitters, and I was always walking. So it was one of those things where, and this was where at least I was playing well. I played better than both of those guys on Friday, right? Saturday, I took a cart, which I hated, and I hated sharing the cart. The guy was super cool, but like I said, it kind of took me out of it. We're looking for his ball, then we're looking for my ball. We got close. He hits a slice, I hit a draw. I should have taken my own cart. I enjoyed the time I spent with him. He's a really nice guy. But like I said, then I walked on Sunday. Both of the other guys rode. They both hit the ball farther than I did, and they also both outplayed me. So one of the things that was kind of terrifying, it really was, dude, I had like a flashback in the middle of the round to playing Wiltwick in junior golf against playing better older kids that could hit the ball farther, and me not playing well and holding the whole group up. So I'm up against a rock wall, and I'm trying to figure out a penalty stroke to take a drop. These guys are already on the green. They're waiting for me. Dude, it was just an ugly scene out there.
Doesn't that suck? Because that's normally what you and the governor do to me.
It is. And like I said, when you're the guy that's behind, when you're the guy who's in trouble, when you're the guy who's holding up the group, and you're walking, the only one walking, it didn't feel good the whole time. So I'm not sure. You know what the real answer is, and this I really hate to say, is I need one of those walking caddies. I need one of those electric ones that I can just walk and, like I said, not have to worry about the bag.
Or have a caddy.
definitely. You know what? You know what I realized about not having you on the bag though
Or a
is
fin
like
scooter.
you're not replaceable. I can't replace you with somebody who's just willing to carry the bag, right? I can't replace you with somebody who's just good at reading the greens, like you're the whole package, right? So without having you there, again, I don't know if the outcome would have been different. I just didn't play that well, but like I said, it certainly didn't help, So.
Which we're gonna talk about in the future. We're gonna talk about caddy things in the future. We're gonna do a whole series on that.
Caddy 101, caddy class.
We're going to talk more about competitive golf in future episodes as well because me and you also have to discuss that. So we're going to do that on podcast so that way it can be very raw and real. Other than that, dude, I mean, listen, you know what? It sucks, because now we got to wait a whole nother year to prove ourselves again. But put it in the past, shake it off, and let's go out and grind, man.
So I'll say two things just real quick in closing. Is one, and I've been meaning to tell you this, and now's as good as time as any. You threw me a curveball on Sunday morning. You really did. And I'd always thought about it in the back of my head, but I had never really had it in the forefront where you're like, hey, go low today. You're representing the channel and our business. And I go, yeah, you know what? I haven't played well the last 2 days. I need to go low because we're just the tips. I need to go low because we've been telling everybody how to play golf. We've been telling everybody about the mental game. We've been telling everybody how to do it the right way. And if you can't demonstrate it, now, did I think about that out there? No. And it didn't affect me. But I'll tell you, at the house, when I saw that, it's the first time that there was a realization like, hey, my score is reflective of our brand that we've created together. And like I said, that put a not a different level of stress, but certainly a different perspective on what each one of these rounds means. And again, I think now knowing that and really knowing it, I think I would put a different emphasis on my practice and preparation.
I'll say this. I'll say this on the same note. I wrote 4 letters on my ball to remind me that what I'm doing there, what I'm representing, and that I belong there. Right? Like I had 3 or 4 people come up to me and be like, "Hey man, great round at the qualifier, dude. That's so awesome. Like so good to see you here." Like almost as though they didn't expect me to be there. And I had to remind myself that I belong there, right? And somebody else was like, "Dude, last year you were caddying and now you're in this. Like that's cool." It's like, dude, I'm a golfer. I belong here, and I needed to not fall into that mental state of like, dude, you made it, No, I expect to make it. I expect to be there. You know what I mean? Like, so I had
So
those
what were the
4
4
letters
letters
on my ball to remind me. I'll tell you off air.
So
it was
so
4
this is the
letters to
last-
remind me that I belong there, I deserve to be there, and that I'm representing the channel that helps other people get there and know that they belong there as well.
So this is the last thing I got, and we were at the gym yesterday morning, and again, there's a lot of guys that don't golf, but because of you and me, they follow the tournament. They're looking at the scores in the paper. I think they're rooting for us. They never said they're not. But one of the guys who's not a big golfer said, hey, I saw your score. That looked like a really tough round, and almost like, are you okay? And, the short answer is like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with that score. I'm not okay with the result, but not in like a negative way, like the way of a champion would think. Like, hey, that score is not indicative of my ability. That score doesn't represent me as a golfer. But what I said to him, to put it in context, to make it so a non-golfer could understand the way I'm feeling, I said, that's the beauty of golf, is that you could do everything within your power and still come up with a bad number. Right? That's what makes golf terrifying, too. That's what keeps people awake at night. And not just me and not just the other amateur golfers. The guys the night before the last round of the Masters, laying awake in bed, staring at the sky, hoping to God that they're blessed with the same swing they had for the first 3 days. That the practice that they put in translates, that the stress that they put themselves under holds true. But even if everything goes right, it could still all go wrong. And that's what makes golf great and terrifying and really humbling. And like I said, I'm not going to let that score define me. I'm looking forward to qualifying with you next year, and I'm looking forward to winning the whole thing. And if not, then definitely as the senior champion. And shout out to our good friend Bill Collins for winning the senior division and just being a few strokes off the lead, which was won by none other than Jared Miller. So congratulations to them. But we're coming for him next year.
Yeah, we're coming. All right, dude. Episode 82 in the books. Let's get back after it, dude. We're grinding.
That's it. Yep. As I said, so thanks to the sponsors, especially our golf course partners. Go up to the golf park in Hudson. Go see Luke Cohen. He's got summer clinics starting for juniors. He has a veterans group if you're a local veteran and you want to take some group lessons. They got a great mini golf park up there. Go see Luke Cohen at the New York Golf Park. Yep.
And shout out to everybody out at Stonehouse and Royal New Kent. That content is coming out all of this
Starting
week.
to come out
This week as we're filming this, and it's going to be coming out for the next couple weeks. So when you guys ask us why we always post about all this stuff, it's because these courses are amazing. There's great people that are behind it. There's great people who believe in the Strand's legacy and keeping that alive. So be sure to check all that stuff out. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe.
There you go. Go to golfleague.com, Saturday Skins. Hit the Just the Tips
shirt
tab. Buy your shirt, man.
Links
Get
are
your
all down
Hawk
in the description.
edition.
We got codes. Tons of stuff, guys.
Yep.
We got actually during the tournament we had some people talking about our shirts. They're like, these shirts are awesome, and they're what, $37?
And that's what they said. They go, really? They said, how do you like them? And we go, UV resistant, sizes up to 6X, athletic.
Dude.
And again, we played in 100-degree heat in them. Our performances in the Ulster County Championship were not influenced negatively by the $37 shirt. I think
No, it was not the shirt.
No. But so go buy your shirt.
It will not help you shoot in the 70s either. But you'll look good. You will look good.
No matter what you shoot, you're gonna look like $1 million wearing one of the Just the Tips customs. Kennett Custom Wedgewoods, base cigars, shaft wraps, shaft wipes. Everybody, Sundog sunglasses, back nine cleaner.
Codes. Just look at the codes down in the description.
Get them.
All right.
Get them. Buy some.
Let's go.
All right, man. I got stuff to do. I'm Adam.
I'm Mike. Just the Tips.
Just the Tips.
Just the tips.